Okay.
Okay. Next stage, very important, you have to have earth. It doesn't work unless you add some earth, and this is perfect because it's all fine and crumbly. I'm going to add minimum, like about 1.5 buckets. It's like a starter culture. When you make something like yogurt, you've got to have something to start it. This is already going to be full of organisms and nutrients and that. Yeah, you have to mix that in. Yeah, I'm just getting the fork, mix it all up. So it's just like exactly like cooking. You want to make sure it's all covering every nicely mixed. Yeah, it's just like making a nice big muesli. You want it all mixed up and nice. So the straw is like giving it the fibre, everything. It's all a balance of different ingredients. If you obviously have all this other green there, you have to chop it up, and it has to be 4 to 6 inches long. We're just mainly going to add grass this time, and that you don't obviously need to chop grass, but this, all of this green here, that will have to be chopped up 4 to 6 inches. That will obviously help it to break down faster. But if you make it, it's been found, if you make it too small, it gets too hot. So that is the optimum size to chop it up, and then it doesn't overheat. Right, so we need another half a bucket. The other thing to do when you're making it is try and check what the date is, so you know when you've started the box. So it's Saturday the 18th, which is good. That means you know Saturday is your day to start. You have 1 week to fill the box. That's the way you do it. So you keep it to Saturday. You can make it so Saturday is your day to make compost. So you don't have to do it every day. You can do it once a week, or you can do it 3 times a week, or however, you know, the more times you do it, the more you're going to make. But if you have the date, and ideally we should have something like a piece of plastic or to label it. So you put the date next to the box, so you know exactly when you started it. So then you know when it's been 7 days, that's time, then you can move on to the second box. And then after 14 days, you take it out. If it's worked, that is, if it's got the temperature. Right, now if you have some food waste, and you've got some, we could add that as well, but you can add it later. I mean, ideally you should add it, mix it all before it goes in. Right, now this is Chardon waste. Got some flowers. Again, that should be there too. You don't want to put them in like that. Yeah, you chop them up, but if we don't have a chopper, we can just break it up. Yeah, even that, there you got what's left from some herbs. You got that can break that up. Then just tip that on top, and then mix it in. So even if you've got quite a lot of disgusting, cooked food waste or anything. Once it's mixed in, you barely even notice it. It's disappeared, and all the straw absorbed it. Yeah, now it's nice, well mixed. Last ingredient, last but most important, the cow dung. We'll use the fork. The bin has got some water in there, so you can take a forkful, put it in the water, and you're trying to make it thicker. You're trying to add as much dung to make it really thick, like soup, thicker than water. And then just mix it up. It's going to be full of all these organisms and nitrogen, nutrients, antiseptic. This is what's going to help stop all the slugs and the snails, and without this it won't have that quality. Yeah, I watched the documentary that said last night the cow is the only animal that has certain organisms and qualities to it. It's the best dung, obviously, as we know in the whole of any animal. Cow dung has very special qualities, and so if you can get hold of it, and we filter out, got bits of straw in there, you can just. So you want it just to be pure liquid. This is just liquid fertilizers. So obviously, yeah, you do end up using quite a lot, cow dung, but I'm trying to find, there might be some other farms we can collect from in the meantime. Plus, so it's quite thick now. Now the bucket has holes in it. We've got this one. This will then clean your bucket. Yeah, we use that. You just fill it up, and then you need to cover it's like marinating, just like cooking. You want to make sure it's covering. Just dry it over. So the straw is like a sponge. So you keep adding it until it's really soaked. Then you can mix it up. Make sure it's all. You keep adding it until you know that it's all covered nicely. Like really, obviously, the one bucket is not enough. That's going to be. So if you put cooked food waste in it, the cow dung immediately is going to cover that any bad smell, and you get a nice smell of cow dung. So it's still quite dry. Just keep adding it. Yeah, I think that should be enough for this batch. And you can start putting it in the box. See, there's one thing I overlooked. Ideally, the box should have like a pallet in the bottom actually next time for this, because then you can let some air come in the bottom. It still will work, but it's better. Right, it's a bit dry, you know, you need to keep adding. So already straight away the reaction is going to start happening. It's going to, all the different elements are going to start reacting, and it's going to start heating up. And then as you add it, you level it out as well. You want to make it level. And the good thing with this is you don't need to worry about getting every last bit off the ground. You can leave it there. But I think we're going to make another batch, you know, keep that's pretty much it. Yeah, you just keep adding, and you've got about 1 week, ideally within a week you've got it filled right up. But once you've got the box half full, then it's going to start getting hot. If you just have one batch like that, it won't get hot. You have to have it at least half full, ideally completely full, and then you'll see within a few days it's going to get hot, and then it will start sinking down, and so you might have filled the box completely full, but it's going to reduce down, just like when you cook something. You start with a lot and then it reduces down, and then ideally you have a thermometer, and you can keep checking how hot it's getting. That is quite essential, because for it to be safe to use in your garden, you want to get it up to 60 degrees. So that is why thermometers the next thing you need. But so we can make, you know, another heat. We can make more.